The conflict in Iran is getting even better. Now, Russia and China will be joining Iran in a military exercise on February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This is what Iran has announced. If that is true, because obviously, we are hearing the news is being confirmed by China and Russia, but you don't hear the mainstream propaganda talking about it too much because this is not what they expected. Now, the joint military exercise is going to take place in the Strait of Hormuz. When this military exercise will take place, the regular traffic, of commercial ships that usually pass through the Strait of Hormuz is definitely going to be disrupted. Now, the reason why they're doing this is clearly to send a statement to the US and Israel. I shouldn't even say Israel because, Israel is nothing without the US, right? So the message goes straight to the US based on, Donald Trump bragging about all his ships, the Abraham Lincoln, and, another ship has now joined the Abraham Lincoln. And all of that in a show of strength. That's the language that the mainstream propaganda media like to use. Now, in the other side, they're also showing strength because the first question we want to ask here, right, based on what we usually hear the mainstream propaganda saying, because I even heard some media say, well, in 24 hours, if Iran does not agree to negotiate with the US, Donald Trump will bomb, right? And 24 hours has passed. Whoever said this was on Wednesday or Thursday night or something like that, right? So 24 hours has passed. Nothing is happening. In fact, the rhetoric is changing. And now Iran is announcing that China and Russia will join for a military exercise next week, starting on Monday until Wednesday. So the very important question here is, how are they so sure that this military exercise is going to take place on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th? It's a very important question because we keep hearing the mainstream propaganda telling us that, the US will bomb any time from now. We're talking about, sometimes, we can go to sleep tonight and then next thing you know, we wake up in the morning and we hear that the US is at war with Iran. But Iran is announcing that this will take place on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And they will be joined by Russia and China. So somebody knows something we don't know. Is it that they are so sure that nothing is going to happen and this is just barking without any teeth? Because we know taco, Trump always chicken out. Is it what is going on here? Iran sound pretty sure that nothing is going to take place. They will have their military exercise normally. The second thing that we must understand here is that this is clearly a statement, a message. And the message goes to the US and telling them straight that Iran owns the Strait of Hormuz and that if they close it just for one day, the stock market will go down. The world's economy will be shocked, right? And many people will lose money. And most of the people who will lose money are the 1% because they are the one running those big ships of oil going into the Strait of Hormuz and delivering oil all around the world. So Iran is sending the message that we can change the fate of the economy. And then the second message here is that Iran has allies and very powerful allies. We're talking about superpower allies. And for the first time, we are seeing China clearly siding with Iran even when it comes to military actions, because cargo planes have been heading toward Iran and delivering something. We will find out if this conflict starts. If not, we will never know. Or maybe someday they will tell us. So as Donald Trump is bragging about his, Abraham Lincoln Armada heading beautifully toward Iran, China's aircraft carriers and ships is heading there as well. Russia's, destroyers are also heading there. Now, the mainstream propaganda is not going to talk about this because once you start to say that the two superpowers will join with Iran, and then the US decide not to bomb anymore, it's clearly going to look like the US chicken out because they fear the superpowers that are joining Iran. And so they don't want to start talking about this now because talking about this now, as you see, it doesn't benefit them because they keep want you to believe that they are that powerful. When in fact, their actions does not represent what they say. See, they come to the mainstream media because they own the media. They come out there and they tell you how powerful, how they will just, precisely, surgically just bomb the leaders of Iran and all of that. All of that is talk. Then when you tell them, well, all that juicy talk, when is the actions coming? They're sitting there telling you that they're still thinking about it. What is there to think about? If they've already decided to bring great weapons there, why don't just go ahead, right? So this news about Iran inviting its superpowers friends, right, to the party is disappointing for the mainstream propaganda that wants to see an action because if those two come, it means nothing is going to happen. It means that's it. See, they're even going far as giving you dates. They're like, look, we are going to do this from the 2nd to the 4th. It means nothing is going to happen. We got this. So this is clearly an embarrassment, right? The US doesn't want the mainstream propaganda to talk about it. They want to bring this on a download. They want to see what is going to happen, right? And I guess decide, I don't know. The fact is that the move is purposely done to send a message, and the message will be received. Just the very fact that it's being published, right, and we are talking about it, clearly ends all the excitement. Because, everybody was all excited, the US is going to bomb and all that. But now, Russia and China are coming to end the party. On the other side, Donald Trump has also been saying that, look, he would prefer not to bomb and just have a negotiation. He doesn't want Iran to have the nuclear weapons. He doesn't want Iran to kill the protesters. And he doesn't want Iran to have the ballistic missiles. What is wrong with the ballistic missiles? The mainstream propaganda is saying that the last conflict in June, they were able to destroy most of Iran's weapons, that Iran is weakened. So why are you complaining about the ballistic missiles again? You told us that Israel destroyed those ballistic missiles and that Iran no longer has the long-range missiles. So what is Israel scared about? Why are they so insistent on the ballistic missile? First, it was the nuclear weapons. Now they want the ballistic missiles to be destroyed. But yet the mainstream propaganda keeps saying that, the last conflict, Israel weakened Iran. They are weak. There's nothing to worry about, right? Or maybe it's just propaganda. I am with you on this. I think that Iran should have this conflict. I think it should happen. Yeah. See, I understand that Iran came out and said, look, we don't want a conflict. We don't want to fight, but we're ready. Well, here's my message to Iran. You are the country that is chosen to do this. Yes, you are. You got to do this. See, we're sick and tired of it. Someone has to do this. And destiny has chosen you, Iran, to do this. You can do it. See, if you don't stop the bully, they will keep doing this. They will continue. And I am glad that, China is taking a stand, finally, and Russia is right there saying, you know what? They learned from Venezuela. They saw what could happen, and they are ready for it. Iran is no Venezuela. The message to the US is clear. It will be better that the propaganda continues to tell us that the US is the biggest and most powerful country on earth. It is better. Because if you do try and you decide to act all Iran has to do is just sink one of those ships. That's all it needs to do. Everything else, you can have it. But if they can only sink that one ship, that whatever armada that you call, then you will regret the propaganda. For now, people still believe that the US is the biggest power on earth. Let it be this way. Because I promise you that if you put your action where you usually put your mouth with Iran, the lesson that will come out of there will be one that we will not forget for centuries, because you will get a bloody nose. Bottom line.